And I'm Kathy Amont. So thank you everyone for joining us for the webinar on MeasureSquare Stone, the game-changing all-in-one stone takeoff estimating solution. I'm the business development executive here with MeasureSquare, and a fun fact about me is I love trucks. So I'm looking at a Ford F-150 right now. If anyone would like to reach out and give me any advice or direction, I'm also looking at GMC, Ram trucks. So I'd be happy to hear your input and your comments and your thoughts. So I appreciate that. And then we also have with us today, we have Matt Rogers, who will be providing our live demo for us today, and I'll let Matt go ahead and introduce himself.
Thank you, Kathy. Yes, my name is Matt Rogers. I'm the sales engineer here at MeasureSquare. I've been here for about 3 years now. Before I came to MeasureSquare, I worked in the East Coast for a stone and tile subcontractor. I was a project manager, draftsman, estimator, a little bit of everything. And really, with my experience, my goal here is that I can bring some of that experience and show you how MeasureSquare can solve some of the issues that you guys run into on a day-to-day basis and really streamline some of those workflows. If you guys have any questions, feel free to hold on to those or add them to the chat, and we'll try to get to those as much as we can at the end. A little bit about myself. I am a golfer, so if you guys have any outings coming up, I have a pretty good handicap, so if you need a ringer, feel free to send me an email, and I'll be happy to join your scramble there. But I'll go ahead and hand it back to Kathy for now. We'll get into the demo here in just a little bit, and look forward to answering any questions here at the end. So thank you everyone for joining, and thanks Kathy for getting us started.
Thank you, Matt. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and turn my camera off so I don't run into any bandwidth issues here. And I have a comment from Rory Kyler. Thank you so much. He says, all mechanics drive GMCs. That's very good to know. So thank you. So this is our agenda today. I'll quickly give you a high-level overview of our trade-specific solution, and then Matt will be providing you with a live demo. Sound good? Okay, so I want to make sure everybody's muted here, and I have my email address in the chat, so if anyone wants to reach out to us, or if you have any questions during the demo, if you could please put those in the chat. We'll have time at the end for questions and answers. And the recording is going, correct? Yes. Okay, so prior to that, I'm going to go over our key capabilities and their impact. And if you have anything to add, like I mentioned, go ahead and put it in the chat box, or feel free to email me. And I'll be going over what we can provide. We're going to review how we can work together, and then talk about the next steps. And then Matt's going to take a deeper dive into the MeasureSquare Stone and Tile software solution and let you take a look under the hood. And he's going to be focusing in on some of our new offerings and solutions as well. So this is going to be, again, very high level. So if you feel you'd like to drill down on anything in a particular area that you feel that would benefit your organization, please email me and or put some information in the chat for me to follow up with you. So hey guys, here's some common challenges that you're facing. You're going to fall into one of these two buckets, and maybe even both. And I don't want to go over every single one, but I do want to highlight the key things that we solve and focus in on a couple of them. So first, common process issues are shop drawing bottlenecks, and you're unable to share slab drawings. And there are others here. You can go ahead and read through those and see if something resonates with you. And then we're going to jump over to the next bucket, common stone estimating takeoff issues. Two of them that I want to mention here are vein matching and book matching of slabs, and creating 3D renderings can be really tedious. So we're all about solving common stone contractor challenges with flying colors, and that's why I'm here. And I hear the word love it a lot, and a lot of gratitude. The more you use it, the more people appreciate the product and the more familiar you get with it. So we're just here to help get you out of the Stone Age. So you can say no or nope, no more of these. One thing about our software is that it is trade specific. It's built for you guys. We pioneered and we partnered with Daltile Stone Division about 8 years ago. We've been in the takeoff and estimating business for over 20 years. And we created this product that was geared toward the dimensional stone marketplace to resolve their critical business issues, and we succeeded. So now, whether you're retail or in the commercial space, you can get your team up to speed quickly and pop out these bids like cookies that are accurate. And it just keeps getting better, and Matt's about to show you that. So hey, just a little eye candy for you here to toot our horn. We work with a lot of different organizations, and we're here to help them transform their dimensional stone takeoff estimating process. So we can help you, just like we did with these clients, retail, commercial, small, medium, large enterprises. Just dropping a few names here for you that you can recognize. And then here's a quote from Daltile's Dimensional Stone Division. We work very closely with Richard Lawley over there. And basically it took him about a day to complete this project using our solution. It's pretty amazing. And using the slab optimizer, he was actually able to save 80 slabs on this one project. So hey, look, there's a lot here to chew on, but I just wanted to hit some hot topics. Many of you are looking at, and this is why stone contractors love us. Reduce fabricator mishaps by 50%, increase close ratios by 20%, complete bids faster, and that's 80% faster with people that are going from pen and paper. It's phenomenal. So pretty exciting. We use Microsoft Azure, a world-class cloud solution. It has a 99.9% uptime. So that thing's not going down. It's very impressive, fully redundant. You can access it from multiple locations. So what do these companies have in common? MeasureSquare. MeasureSquare powers over 4,000 plus businesses and growing, small, medium, and large enterprises. Our client base is growing, and our clients' businesses are growing. And that could be you. So these are just a few more names that you'll recognize. We streamline the bid response process, ultimately helping you out by answering more bids. So that's pretty exciting. So you outsell your competition and ultimately increase your revenue.
Oh, please give us more to do.
And we're not just about software either. We are a service company. We provide support. You can call us. We'll help you get a bid out the door. Now I'm going to hand it over to Matt, and then he's going to do the deep dive of the software. So go ahead, take it over, Matt. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, Kathy. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. Just give me a second while this loads in. All right, so it looks like my screen is loaded. Kathy, can you see that?
Yes.
Okay. So again, we're just going to touch on some of the higher level, some of the recent updates to the program today. We're going to see this. We have this kind of sample project ready to go. If there's anything you see that we don't touch on today, be sure to make a note of that, add that to the questions, or reach out to one of us. And we can always schedule a meeting to dive down into anything that we see here today. But again, we're focusing more on some of the recent updates and some of the new features that are available within MeasureSquare. So you can see we're going to start out, we have this kind of main kitchen to start with. If we go through, we can take a look at some of the other kitchens that we have. So we have some other kitchens in here. Some of these actually already have the area textures that we've applied here. So we can actually apply realistic slab images just like these ones, and it doesn't have to be obviously this slab. Whatever slabs you guys have and want to apply to your image, your pieces, we can bring those in here, and we can even apply those to our bathrooms here with something like this vanity or these tile floors. And we'll get into all of this here in just a little bit, but we can do vein matching, book matching, whatever we need to do with these different layouts, we can accomplish with these area textures. So let's take a jump back and take another look at this kitchen one before we go any further. With this kitchen, we can see we have our countertops, we have some splash pieces, and we actually have this waterfall edge over here as well, along with this hole tool that we have in here, creating this kitchen sink. So to add the area textures to this kitchen, all we need to do is simply switch to the dry lay. Now this dry lay module, this is something new to MeasureSquare this year. We've had the slab optimizer already, and the slab optimizer is great at automatically calculating all of your slab nesting pieces without having to do really any work. It's already taking that takeoff data for you. But then the dry lay is just another step. So where the slab optimizer is very automatic, the dry lay is a little bit more of a manual process, but it gives us a chance to specifically place all the different slabs that we need. So again, we can see at the bottom here, we have some of our other slabs like kitchen 2, 3, and 4, and 5 already laid out. So we're going to come back up to the top and we're going to start and finish out this kitchen 1 here. So I'm just going to select some of these pieces over here, and we can actually just drag and drop each one of these into place. We'll drag this one over here, actually drag this onto this far edge. We can bring in this waterfall edge. We can even snap this together here as well. And the nice thing about snapping these pieces, we can actually adjust the blade width. So we can see that down here. Right now it's set to 5/32. But if we were to zoom in here, we'd actually see it includes that little gap here. So we don't have to worry about putting our pieces too close. It's automatically taking that blade width into account. Let's go ahead and bring our splash in here as well. Again, we can just drop this in and snap these together. And now let's go ahead and drag in these pieces again. Bring these in right here for now. And I'm going to quickly come in and rotate these. And again, we'll just snap these together. And in just a few seconds here, we'll actually see this kitchen start to take shape. Let's go ahead and bring this over as well. All right, so we can actually see all of that, all those slab images is actually getting added in real time here. And let's go ahead and bring in this last little piece. Again, we'll just drop this into place. And of course, we can, bring these in and snap these together here as well. So you can see just like that, we can add in all the different pieces we need. If I want to come in and try to maneuver some of these pieces around, maybe avoid a dark spot or something like that within these slabs, we can do all of that. Of course, everything that we add here, we can use our 3D view. So if we click right up here, we can actually see this entire kitchen with our splashes, the sink cutout, and our waterfall edge as well. Before I exit out of this 3D view, I'm going to quickly just take a photo. So we can come in here and take a screenshot of this 3D view. Just get a quick window around this and hit the checkbox. And we can even adjust the order here. So we want this one first. I will add that one right here, and then just click Save and Close. So again, the dry lay here is a great tool. We find that this is great for a lot of residential companies that are looking to give something to their homeowner or their client with a realistic rendering or an idea of kind of what they're looking for. But this is also great in those commercial applications for something like that lobby wall or that reception desk, especially if we're looking for that vein matching or that book matching. And we can switch over to these different tabs and see these other materials. So we can see our lobby wall down here. If we want to play around with these veins or anything like that, of course we can move some of these. We don't have too much play when we're working with this vein matching, but we have a little bit more play with the book matching, where we can actually try different layouts, get different designs, and really kind of hone in the design that the client wants. So again, we'll switch over here, switch to our reception desk, and we can kind of see right now we already have this book matched wall, but if I want to, we can maneuver this over here, put this 180 degrees, and then do the same thing for the top up here as well. And of course, we already have the photo here for this one in 3D, but we can add this one here as well and include all of these different screenshots with our bin package as well. The next thing I want to show you is the shop drawing module, but before I get to that, I have just one more thing to show you with the area textures. So we're going to go ahead and click on the print screen. We're going to get a print preview of our project here. I'm not going to include our worksheets or the tabs here. I just want to include those photos that we included here. So we're actually just going to see this photo line. We can click OK, and we'll actually see this is where we're going to get those screenshots. We can see all of them here together. If we want to change the size or adjust any of these, you can see right now we're getting about 6 per page. We can just come up to our settings here, change this down to about 30%. And now we should be able to fit all of these different ones on our page. And just to give you kind of the full view here, if we did want to include our forms, like our bid proposal or some of our tabs in here, we can do that as well. And just like that, you can see we have our worksheet with our proposal, and then all of our screenshots and all the diagrams that we have from our takeoff already there as well.
Great. Poitras?
So let's go ahead and jump out of this. And now we're going to move on to the dry lay here. Sorry, not the dry lay, the shop drawing module. So as I come up here and click on this shop drawing tab, we'll see we don't have any shop drawings yet. But what we can do is actually take all of the takeoff data that we created from the estimate and automatically import that into the shop drawing module here. Now, this is something that when we were building this module, we've gotten requests for this before, but we've known for a while that all of this takeoff data is very useful, and it just kind of ended in the worksheet. So we wanted a way to be able to reuse this takeoff data and utilize them for shop drawings and anything else we might need. So again, if we go to our shop drawings tab, we can actually just come up here and click on this import takeoff button. The program is going to ask us how we want to create these pages. So I can actually choose if I want to create this by the unit type or the room type. In this case, because we've tagged out our project based on the unit types, we can use this here and click OK. As soon as I click OK here, the program will tell us, hey, we've created 10 new shop drawings. And we can actually see those shop drawings in the background here already. We can see that first kitchen up at the top. And let's go ahead and take a look at some of the other kitchens in here as well. We can see we have kitchen 2, kitchen 3, and we can actually see a lot of the details from that takeoff throughout the template in here. So we can see at the bottom here, it's going to show us the material within each drawing, the unit type, the room type, and this is actually, again, pulling that directly from our takeoffs. So we have a lot of control here, a lot of ways to intelligently apply and get that data. So again, we'll scroll through and take a look at some of these different bathroom or different areas, and we can see how all those tags are being applied. And we actually have a lot of different ways to create and adjust these shop drawings as well. One thing you might have noticed when we created these, the program went ahead and applied dimensions to all the different pieces we have. Now, for something like this L-shaped kitchen that we have, we might want to zoom out and maybe reorganize some of these pieces so that we have some spacing in here and we can kind of see a little bit better. So let's go ahead and just drag this out over here. And again, just recenter our screen. If we want to, we can go ahead and just add in that 3D screenshot that we added earlier. Excuse me, wrong button there. I need to hit the drop down here. And then we can just come in here and add in that 3D view as a photo, maybe shrink this down and put this in the bottom corner. And then we can go ahead and do this for all the different that we have. Now, once we have the shop drawings ready to go, we have a couple different ways we can utilize them. We can export these to PDF, also export these to CAD. This essentially creates a DXF file so we can open up all of these different shop drawings, edit them if we need to, or just share them with either a fabricator or a client or whatever we need to do there. All right, so this is about the wrap up here for the kind of highlights and the demo from the recent year. Let's go ahead and take another step back. We're going to go ahead and switch gears. I'm going to switch down back to our presentation. So again, MeasureSquare, we're really just looking to try to simplify your takeoff and estimating process. So that starts with the import and scaling your project drawings. A lot of this is actually stuff that we didn't talk about today. But again, this is the overall process within our takeoff. So again, we can import those project files, whether they are PDF drawings, CAD files, or images. We can, of course, bring those in and get those scaled as needed. Now, of course, we can copy multiple objects to reuse or modify those for similar areas. This is very helpful on those multifamily projects, especially when you have kind of similar areas. You can just copy and paste and then adjust it as needed. Apply your tags. So again, we'll apply those tags within the takeoff, but those are useful within the worksheets, the slab optimizer, the shop drawings, all for creating different breakouts, different areas, and just easily sorting out different areas within your project. From here, we're going to create those professional bid proposals and quotes. This is what's going to set you guys apart from your competition. Easily and automatically create those estimate files with all the diagrams, screenshots, and everything that we saw here today already included. And then determine those accurate slab counts. So over purchasing, under purchasing for jobs, all of that gets eliminated because now we have accurate slab counts for everything that we need. and we know exactly where we're going to
Fucking
kind of have our waste values with those slabs. And then, of course, just like you saw today, we can take all of that takeoff data, all of those areas, piece shapes, and sizes, and then automatically generate those shop drawings. This is just another way to help speed up that shop drawing process.
Yeah, it goes right to a CAD drawing. Well, you can do a PDF too, but you export it as a CAD file.
Now, of course, all of this gets brought together with the cloud. So, of course, we can sync projects, share projects, eliminate that data loss. Wherever we need to access our project files, as long as they are in the cloud, we'll be able to open them in the office, the field, or even at home if we need to. And then, of course, it just saves and protects that data. So when you guys have personnel turnover, you don't have to worry about getting those laptops back or anything like that. Obviously, you want those laptops back, but you'll automatically have your data saved and secure with your company. So again, thank you to Kathy for letting me kind of take the floor here a little bit. I'll go ahead and hand it back to Kathy here for just a minute, and then we can kind of get into questions here at the end of the session. So thank you again, Kathy.
We're trying. Don't count on that one.
Oh, thank you, Matt. Okay. So.
I just wanted to jump in, Kathy, as you get set up. If everyone could just, I know we're towards, if everyone could just double check that they're muted on their end. I could hear someone laughing in the background. It might be for joining by phone or something. So everyone could just double check, just so everyone can hear the presenters. Appreciate it.
So thank you, everybody, for, we appreciate your time today for joining us. And this is how we're going to do business together. We want to give you a free trial. My email is here. And then also Matt's email if you want to reach out to us to do a deeper dive. If you have any questions, you have full access to support. We want to help you get a bit out the door during the free trial. And now we have some time for questions. If anybody has any comments,
I did see, yeah, we did see a question about the slab optimizer. Matt, could you go over that real quick?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, so I touched on it briefly here today. I didn't really get too much into the slab optimizer side. We focused more on the dry lay and applying the area textures and things like that. The dry lay, like I mentioned, is much more of a manual process. But if we want to switch over to the slab optimizer here, we can see actually some of these slabs automatically laid out in here.
Oh, Matt, I think you need to reshare your screen. I think it's still on Kathy's.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
No,
oh, there you go.
Okay, so now you should be able to see my screen. Yes, like I said, the slab optimizer here is a much more automatic process instead of the manual dry lay attachments. And we can, instead of manually placing all those slabs here, we're just going to reload our data from our worksheet and click OK. And then, of course, we can just hit Start Cut up in the top left. And this is going to run through, take our slab sizes here, all our piece sizes from our takeoff, and automatically nest these within our slab layouts. I see a question from Jeff about asking if we can use a slab optimizer and the dry lay on the same job. That's a great question. And yes, we definitely can. And just to show you real quick, we can utilize this. We can utilize the slab optimizer here. If you're looking to kind of separate, maybe you have one area that is kind of like an amenities area with your slab optimizer used for kind of the main multifamily portion of the job. We can, of course, create all these in the slab optimizer. In the dry lay, we actually have the ability to import all the pieces from the slab optimizer directly into the dry lay here, allowing us to just quickly apply those images to all of those pieces and then exporting those images here as well.
Great. And then, Matt, there was also a question about the stone and tile. I know we mainly covered stone. Do you want to just do like a minute and show the stone side, the tile version of this, if it?
Yeah, and we didn't really touch on the tile too much, but here we can go ahead and switch to one of these bathrooms as an example. We can see we have this tile floor. I actually have the tile textures turned on right now. So if I wanted to turn those off, we can actually see just the kind of takeoff colors here behind it, along with the area textures here for the stone. But if we click into this view here, we can actually see all the elevations with this room. And the nice thing about MeasureSquare, when we draw this room, all these elevations are automatically generated. All we need to do is drop in the door, add our bathtub or our vanity, and add in any designs like the shower or the base tile that we have here to create all these different areas here. And of course, just like the areas, we can take a look at this bathroom here in 3D and see, again, we have our tile textures turned on, so we can see kind of our subway tile with our 12 by 24 and our vanity sink here as well.
Matt, can you also, on one of the blank walls, show how you can go into our tile pattern library and drop one in really easily? And there's also the option, everyone, to create your own patterns, but we also have a pretty well built out library for you that you can also edit and add on your own.
Yep. So we can see here on the left side, right underneath the product and services tab is this tile patterns tab. As I switch here, like Jim mentioned, we can see a full library kind of already preloaded. But of course, we can always just design a pattern as well. So if I want to, for example, bring in one of these libraries, I can just click and drag, and it's going to ask me for my piece sizes. We're just going to use the quick assign here and drop this in, so we can apply this here. Maybe this pattern only goes halfway up the wall. Again, I can use a wall stack. I'm just going to use a horizontal one for right now. Drop this in. And again, we can just drop that same brickwork. Now that I have this in the project, I can actually just pull this from right down here and drop this in again as needed.
Great. And then I think Gray asked a follow-up question about the tile portion of this. If you're familiar with MeasureSquare 8, the tile portion of this has a lot of similarities. So we took a lot of pieces of MeasureSquare 8 since there were a lot of overlap with that portion of the software and the stonework in here, and made that a combined version. So we didn't want to overload one software with everything, but we brought the tile portion over here. So it's going to be very similar if you're familiar. If anyone's familiar with MeasureSquare 8, using it for tile, a lot of the same functions are over here, including the estimating functions such as cut and fit and half reuse for the tile work. If you're doing backsplashes on a kitchen along with the slab or granite countertops.
Yeah, and that's a great question. Yes, thank you, Jim. And to that point, I know we talked a lot about creating those areas with the countertops. Just like we can add cut to size to those countertops, we can also apply tile there as well. This isn't really what you asked, but I just kind of wanted to touch on this. If we had a tile backsplash, kind of like Jim mentioned, we can easily apply that tile here with any of these patterns that we have. And going back to those patterns, if any of these patterns, there's a full library in here already, but if any of these are something that if you need something else, we can actually use this design tool to very quickly and easily create pretty much any pattern we need. So you can see we already have that herringbone pattern in here already, but if I wanted to create a different one, I can just come in here and recreate these, and you can see it's going to generate that pattern, and we can either save this either to the pattern library for future projects or just to this project if we're just looking to add this as a one-off here.
Great.
So if they wanted to do a special customized pattern behind the range, for example, sometimes that's a request in the kitchen. They can create a custom tile pattern specifically in that area. They can bring it all the way up to the ceiling very simply with a couple of clicks.
Exactly. That's a good example. And just to throw in, everyone, as Kathy mentioned earlier about being able to do a trial, if anyone's a current MeasureSquare 8 user or iPad user and you're interested in trialing out this stone or stone and tile version, we have two different versions depending on the work you need. Please reach out to Kathy, and she'll be able to set you up with the trial. If you're a brand new customer, same song and dance, she'll be able to help you out with that. I was waiting for this question to come up. Someone's asking about compatibility between MeasureSquare 8 and the stone versions. Matt, I think you're in a little bit better position if you can answer how that compatibility works, and then I'll add a little bit on top of it.
Yeah, of course. So yeah, we do have quite a few customers that are looking to use both stone, or at least the stone side and the flooring side with the roll goods and the carpet goods. What we found, they are different file types. But a lot of users have been able to create their project in MeasureSquare 8, go through and add all the flooring, everything else they need, and then actually open that file up in MeasureSquare Stone, and then just continue and add the stone there. Jim, do you have anything else to add there?
Yeah, thanks. So I think it was Eugene was asking this. So just to kind of give a, since I don't see any questions right now, just to kind of give a better explanation, because if you're an existing customer, this is a common question that comes up. So we're at the moment, we're not planning to ever combine both softwares into one enormous one. It's going to be just, not that you guys care too much about the technical things, it's just going to be too complex and likely too confusing. And the overlap might not be the right way to do it. So what we've currently done is that, as what Matt said, is that you can take your MeasureSquare 8 estimation and basically, for lack of a better term, import it or open it into Stone. And it will basically hold that data as is. And then you can do your Stone takeoff in here as well, or a Stone and Tile takeoff. But if I'm not mistaken, it's more of a one-way street. So once you're done with it, I'm not sure off the top of my head, I don't think you would want to go back into MeasureSquare 8. So you kind of got to make sure you're done with the MeasureSquare 8 side of it before you bring it in here, if you're doing that. So it's a pretty strict relationship, and it's because of there's conflicting things in here, which is one of the right reasons we didn't want to combine it and make it very confusing and harm both sides of the software. So we do have some folks who will finish off MeasureSquare 8, bring into Stone, do that portion, and then they're done with that version. And then you can always create like a copy of this MeasureSquare 8 version, so you have that one standalone and unaffected, and then bring into the Stone version if you need two different ones. And then always in the end, if you're creating a bid or something like that, and you are using them independently, you can always use like something like Adobe, to combine the outputs if you want to create like a more of a seamless bid. You can always combine them in that way too, in kind of just a simple way. But if anyone has more questions about that, obviously Matt here is very knowledgeable of the software, so he can answer any of those, or if you give you guys any suggestions or guidance on those kind of workflows too. Right. I hope I I hope we answered your question, Eugene. If you have any follow-up, please just let us know.
So do you have to draw these walls in first? Because that's clearly not going to be imported by any file that we have. Yes.
I heard a question about walls. I don't know.
It's asking how you pull it in. Maybe you can show them how you pull in the PDF on the original kitchen.
Oh, it looks like since we do have a fair amount of folks still, Steven's asking if we can unmute everyone. So maybe if it's not too chaotic, Matt, if you want to unmute, and then if anyone has any questions, maybe we could just kind of try to be respectful of each other and get those in case anyone doesn't realize the chat's there.
Yeah.
I
clicked unmute all. I think for anybody that was muted themselves, they probably just have to unmute themselves. But gotcha. I basically lifted the mute, so they should be able to unmute. I don't think I can mute people just for privacy.
Okay. So if anyone's muted and you want to ask a question out loud, feel free to unmute yourself. Since it looks like we're kind of towards the end, but we're happy to stay on and get any of those questions answered. I heard the same thing, Matt. I heard someone asking about drawing walls, but I didn't get a good. I think they were talking in the background, so I didn't get a good.
No, that's what I heard.
Yeah, that was me. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes, we can.
Yeah, this is Jeff at MDN. We would probably be importing a file. I was talking to Matt about this on Monday, importing our file from Excel into this, which is kind of what we do with StoneCut currently. Mm-hmm. But if you do that, obviously you're not going to get any pre-built walls like you were showing here for dry lay. So if I have a specific room like a cafe kitchen or something like that I need to have book matched or waterfalls, I'd have to build my walls from scratch. Would that be correct for that particular room?
I believe so. Yeah, for that room, with the way that you guys are doing it, just kind of to get some context, they're actually just using the slab optimizer and importing straight into here. So essentially, Jeff, you guys don't have this takeoff data, correct?
Correct. Yeah, correct. How are you getting that to begin with? What are you importing there to get that view?
Yeah, so I just import this. This is a PDF drawing that I was importing. This is actually a snippet of that PDF where it had 3 different bathrooms on it. But I cropped it down and separated these bathrooms into different drawing tabs. And then I'll show you real quick how we can just draw these out. If I switch to the room takeoff real quick, we can just trace these out. And you'll see as soon as I create this room here, it's actually bringing in the floor tile already. That's what you can see with the blue shaded there. But as soon as I right click here and create this room, it's automatically going to show me my walls here. And if I click on the room, as long as I have this view wall toggled, it's going to show me those elevations here. And we can see right now our height of these walls is about 86 inches. We probably want to change that. So let's go ahead and adjust that. As soon as we start to add in like the door, for example, we can go ahead and include this door and drop this in. We can actually see that door kind of adjusted in the elevation. So it's automatically going to remove that from the elevation here. We can go ahead and use the elevation tool to take that tub area out, as well as the vanity. We can just bring this straight down. And then, of course, do the same thing for our vanity to create this vanity top. And you can see right now it's going to generate those elevations, I think at 8 inches. But we can, of course, adjust these to be a tub height and a vanity height as needed.
Okay, having not used MeasureSquare, so what you're saying is that little floor plan, you've imported that as what, a PDF or,
correct, yes. Yes.
Or a PIC file? What is that?
Yes, this was a PDF, but we can import PDF, okay, CAD files, images, whatever you have, we can bring in here.
So on a full set of drawings, you're just capturing a room on that drawing and creating a PDF of that and importing that.
Correct. So in this case, I actually have, if this was one drawing, so you can see here B1, this is B1 UPass, we have B1 and then B2. In this case, this was one drawing that had all 3 of these on the same page. When I imported those, there's an option to go ahead and just crop those out. So it's very easy to separate these out, even in the import process. We don't have to do a lot of kind of housekeeping afterwards to get these like I have them here.
Okay, so you're importing a PDF page from your main drawing set and using that. Okay, correct. I gotcha. That makes sense. Okay, but the original question is, after I optimize the entire project, where per se I wouldn't need to actually work on any particular one room, I can still do that. But if I need to work on one elevation, I can do dry lay for that particular elevation only. I don't have to do the entire job that way, correct?
Correct, yes. So here, let me go ahead and just reload this worksheet here, just to kind of show you how this would work. Make sure, let's see. Okay, so now we'll go back to our slab optimizer and load in our data. I'm going to say OK. So we can see all of our kitchen pieces on the left side over here. If I just hit start cut, this is going to run through and give me all my different layouts here. Let's go ahead and zoom out a little bit so we can actually see. It looks like we just have 2 layouts. But I can
that's like stone cut at this point, yeah.
Exactly, yeah. But then with the dry lay function, I can actually come in here. If I click on this import button, I'll let you show you guys how this works. It's going to erase what we have here, but this is going to bring in all of our results from from the slab optimizer, and then we can just come in here and simply apply one image like this countertop that we have to all of these different pieces. So even without the area takeoffs, we can actually still create these pieces in here with those slab optimizers.
Okay.
Now, because we have these drawn out, we can see these here, but if we're just importing into the slab optimizer from an Excel sheet, we'll actually just have these layouts here on the left side.
Yeah. After we talked on Monday, I tried to adjust our spreadsheet and import it, and it didn't work. So maybe I can have a side discussion with you on how to actually lay out that format.
Yeah, appreciate the questions, Jeff. I think I'm pretty sure you and I have talked maybe in the past or a couple of years ago, but you're one of our early adopters of the stone cut version, and now this is kind of like the evolution of where that has gone since then. So happy that it's still working for you. But yeah, if you want to do any more deep dives, I know Matt will be happy to help you with that and see if you can find some value in this version as well with the takeoff portion.
Oh, yeah, this looks absolutely fantastic. We're looking forward to this. Stone cut has saved us so much time, but this will even go past that. So we're looking forward to it.
Awesome.
Great.
And just, I know Jeff is talking about stone cut. We're talking about stone cut. Just to kind of give some context here, stone cut is an older program that we had. It was essentially just the slab optimizer portion of the takeoff that you see here today. But since we're building out our stone and tile program with the slab optimizer and the dry lay and all these different features, we're starting to kind of focus more on the takeoff side than just the standalone stone cut. So that's kind of why that is being brought up here. I just want to mention that just so you guys know that stone cut is still a MeasureSquare product, just kind of a little bit separate from the stone and tile here.
And also, while Jeff, you're here, and how do you think about that shop drawing and shop tickets? The way how you automatically generate those, would that be a efficiency boost?
We were actually kind of laughing at that, so we can eliminate one of our employees based on that.
I hope he's not in the meeting.
Well, I mean, he can be. I mean, the other estimator, he can bid more jobs, so we're not eliminating them.
No, yeah.
Okay.
We can't bid any more jobs than we have right now. It's ridiculous.
All right.
But this could basically save time from our engineers that don't have to go behind us and do this. It'd already be finished. So that's wonderful.
Jeff, I'm curious. I hope we're not costing anyone their job over there. But how long does it take for you guys to build a shop drawing?
Oh, it depends on the size of the job. I mean, we have jobs that are anywhere from $4,000 to $1.2 million. So, it's, basically we have about 3 to 4 weeks to do it. One particular job may only take a couple of days, but the other one may take a few weeks. So, but once we optimize these slabs, we just turn that PDF file over to our production group for the stone. And then they have to go behind us and basically do all the engineering that you just showed here. Mm-hmm. Whereas we can actually just provide that to them, basically completed. So that would be very handy.
Is that something that takes some... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
That would free them up to do other projects that we have instead of doing redundant work that we can do from here.
If it's like I don't know, let's say it's like in the middle, like a $500,000 job. Like how many man hours would it take them to create the shop drawings for that once you hand it over?
Oh Lord, I don't know. I would probably say, I don't know, maybe 16 to 24. I'm not sure.
Oh, wow.
I don't deal with that at all. It may take less. I'm trying to stay away from each year.
Gotcha.
You mentioned the redundant, and I think that's kind of really why we created the shop drawing module, was just because we have all of that data here. It's already in the takeoff, so why not actually put that to use and just apply some dimensions to it, give it a template, and make it something that is a little bit more professional as a shop drawing.
Yeah, I'll tell you, there's always been the issue where, as estimators, we try to estimate the slab sizes and lengths based on just our own preference at that point, but our stone group may actually lay those out a little differently. So there's always been that issue. So we sometimes pad our count 1 or 2 slabs just to account for, a mistake on their side or a different layout or whatever it may be. So this is handy because right now, basically, they're taking our PDF file and looking at that and kind of doing their own thing, where this is basically done for them. So that's kind of nice, if that makes sense.
No, it does. It makes a lot.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, appreciate the feedback. All right. All right. Well, I think we're almost at the hour mark. We want to be respectful of everyone's time. Appreciate everyone who's still here who has stuck it out. So we're all hoping that this has been a very insightful for everyone. Hopefully gives everyone something to think about. Maybe give this a try if you haven't already. We're really hoping this provides a solution for everyone. Hopefully saves some time, increases your chance to win a job, and reduce any errors from the kind of any manual work you may be doing. Any other questions that anyone might have? Feel free before we end it here. If you guys do have any questions, you think of one 5 minutes after we end. Again, feel free to shoot Matt or Kathy an email. It's just their first names at MeasureSquare.com. They'll be more than happy to answer those questions after the webinar as well. And then again, we'll be sharing this to everyone too. We'll probably just end up posting to YouTube. We'll share the link to everyone in case you want to review it or send to a colleague or anyone like that.
Yep, and just to kind of reiterate, Kathy and I are kind of the main points of contact here at MeasureSquare for the Stone and Tile program. Kathy is great at reaching out and following up with everyone. And if you guys have technical questions or anything like product related, I'm the guy to kind of reach out. So like I said, pricing, go to Kathy. Product questions come to me. If you guys are getting signed up on a trial or actually get signed up with a license, I'll be the one that goes through with you on the training. We'll work on projects together. We can buy sample projects. But what I really like to do is one of your projects that you guys have either from the past or a current project. That way it's something relevant and useful to you guys. And we will, of course, record those meetings and share those with you guys so you can, of course, follow up on those, review those, and have that for when you need it.
Excellent. All right. Any other item? Any last minute notes, Kathy?
No, just thank you, Matt. Thanks, Jim. Thanks everybody for attending. Thanks for your attention today, and we hope we got your questions answered. Please reach out to me. My email is Kathy, K-A-T-H-Y @MeasureSquare.com. And if you want to dive in a little deeper on specific areas, something that will help your organization to benefit you specifically, because this was very high level. This is a very powerful tool, and we'd be happy to work with you. We have the free trial. I can help you get set up with that. Get one-on-one recorded training session with Matt. He'll help you get a project out the door. So appreciate your time. Look forward to hearing from you.
Yep, and of course, thank you, Kathy. And yeah, everyone, if we don't talk to you guys before the holidays, everyone have a happy holidays and a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. But hopefully we'll talk to you guys soon. If not before the end of the year, hopefully at the beginning of January there soon.
Great, thank you, Matt. And then one last thing I'll say, guys. Probably should have said this before, but we'll be at a handful of trade shows coming up in the new year. So if anyone's going to be happen to be at the Domatech show in Germany in Hanover, I think the second week of January we'll be there. We'll definitely be at Surfaces in Las Vegas at the end of January, like we are every year. And then we'll also be at the KBIS show back in Las Vegas, I think is in February, and we'll also be at Coverings. I want to say in March. Sorry, I don't know the exact month at the top of my head, but we'll be there as well. So that we'll be spread out throughout the world and throughout the U.S. In the next few months. So if you want to see us in person, come by, talk to us more about this, or see another demo. We'll be at those shows, so we hope to see you in person as well. All right, Coverings is, so in April we'll be in Atlanta for Coverings. Thank you, Stephen. So we're looking forward to seeing anyone out there as well. So I think with that, I think we'll end it here. So again, as Matt said, happy holidays. We appreciate everyone showing up right before the break. Merry Christmas, and we'll be following up with the recording later today or tomorrow for everyone.
All right, thank you for the demo.
Okay.
All right, thanks everyone.
Everybody.
Thank you, guys.